Text messages revealed by the January 6th Select Committee have made Republicans' flagrant disregard for democracy and the rule of law even more clear. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting a little more insight into what Representative Jim Jordan was texting former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows as, not as the riots were happening, but a day before the riots took place. So, look, we already know about these Fox News anchors and even Don Jr. frantically texting Mark Meadows as the riots were taking place, urging him to do something, to essentially convince Donald Trump to stop the riots. And it would take him 187 minutes to do anything. But when it comes to the day before, here's what Jordan had texted. On January 6, 2021, on January 6, 2021, Vice President Mike Pence, as president of the Senate, should call out all the electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional as no electoral votes at all. That's what he had texted him.
Okay, so guys, that's just saying, take the ceremonial role by the vice president and just use it as a pretense to declare a dictatorship. Because the vice president has no constitutional authority to do that at all. This is an example I've used before. It's like getting mad at the guy throwing the opening pitch for not winning the game. He's not in the game. It's ceremonial. It's just an opening pitch. It doesn't mean anything. So and I can prove it, and even the right wingers will go, oh, okay, that's obviously true. Otherwise, any vice president can end democracy at any time, including Kamala Harris. So if Biden and Trump run against each other, and next time Trump wins, she could just go up there and go, I'm not counting the electoral votes. Jim Jordan told me not to. I have the power to do that. They say it's constitutional. It's absurd. It's nowhere in the Constitution. So I am now declaring Joe Biden the winner. Well, Republicans, do you want that? Or do you think that in the Constitution it says only Republican vice presidents can do it? I mean, you know that's absurd, right? And do you really want to give Kamala Harris that power? Do you want to give any vice president that power? That's not anywhere near a democracy.
Now, Jim Jordan clearly knows that this ain't a good look because he got defensive after these texts were read by the Select Committee. And Jordan's defense is not a good one. He claims, look, I know I sent that text message to Mark Meadows, but it wasn't really me. I was just relaying a message from someone else. Okay, so
what?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most ridiculous excuse imaginable. Jordan's office has confirmed that he was the sender, but emphasized that the message was merely the Ohioan forwarding analysis by another attorney, former Pentagon Inspector General Joseph Schmitz. Now, Schmitz is a conservative lawyer and a one-time national security advisor, which is kind of terrifying, actually, during the Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. Now, Mr. Jordan, according to a spokesperson for Representative Jordan, forwarded the text to Mr. Meadows, and Mr. Meadows certainly knew it was a forward. That doesn't matter at all. And by the way, that wasn't indicated in the text message. There was no indication that Jimbo was like, this isn't me, I'm just sharing analysis from someone else. There was no indication of that. So I just think it's a ridiculous excuse, but the fact that he's giving these excuses tells you a lot about how he, I think, recognizes what he was suggesting there is problematic.
Yeah, definitely. When the Schmitz hit the fan, all of a sudden he's like, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it was Schmitz. It was Schmitty. Okay, so first of all, okay, now we know there are a bunch of people who hate America on the right wing and think, yeah, when it's not even given an opportunity, they just created an opportunity out of whole cloth to destroy the whole country and say that the vice president can be king. Everybody knows that isn't true. I bet you even some QAnon people go, well, that's a bridge too far, man. Because you have to admit, if that's true, Kamala Harris can declare Biden the winner no matter what. Okay, so, and by the way, Democrats have never made that point. They're such an incompetent party. But in terms of this whole forwarding is not necessarily me suggesting it. Why is Jim Jordan constantly forwarding TYT clips to the chief of staff for Trump.
that's
Like, hey, you never know. Like, maybe you should do what TYT says.
That's totally normal human behavior, right?
Yeah.
Like every time I forward you a message about a story we're gonna cover, I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting anything, I'm just, forwarding you other people's analysis that I might not even agree with.
Yeah, normally if you text something that you don't agree with, you go, this thing that kids call LOL. Right? You say, oh, I don't agree with this. Look at how absurd this is.
Exactly.
You don't send it over without the guy's name on it, without any commentary. Why are we having this discussion?
Exactly.
Jim Jordan obviously wanted Pence to end the country and end our democracy.
But this does also shed some light on something that we talked about much earlier on the show. And it was the way that Jim Jordan had reacted to questions about his communication with Donald Trump on January 6th, right? His answer to that question, I don't know, he seemed a little flustered. And I wanna bring that back to give you guys a reminder.
Yes or no, did you speak with President Trump on January 6th?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke with the president last week. I speak with the president all the time. I spoke with him on January 6th. I mean, I talk with President Trump all the time, and that's I don't think that's unusual. I'm actually kind of amazed sometimes that people keep asking this. But of course, I talk to the president all the time. I talked with him, like I said, I talked with him last week.
On January 6th, did you speak with him before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked?
I'd have to go. I spoke with him that day after.
He looks pretty damn nervous.
Oh, he looks super. I mean, his voice was cracking.
I talk to the president all the time. I talked to him yesterday. I talked to him last week. I talked to him today. I mean, everybody talks to the president, right?
I talk to people. I talk to the coffee guy down the street. Okay, I talk to my wife. Can you believe that? Okay, and besides which, it was Schmitty. Schmitty called him. It wasn't me. Okay. Oh, so you know you're guilty.
He talks to everybody except for authorities after wrestlers come forward with sexual assault allegations.
Against one of his colleagues.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
All of a sudden, then he can't find a way to talk to anybody, and he just happens to cover up the sexual assault of young boys. Then he can't find any quotes from Schmitty to forward to anyone.
Can't find the words.
But all of a sudden, though, when you're trying to do a coup against America and destroy our democracy, then all of a sudden you got all the words you need. Hey, why doesn't the vice president just cancel the votes and declare Trump the king? I mean, president, wink. No, Republicans who believe this are traitors to this country. Absolute traitors. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, we really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.